distance. It's dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The Kingwood is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Good to be back with our fans from across the world as we get ready to start the feature event here at Suzuka. As always, my name's James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as we get ready to grid them up. Starting on pole, Raymond Aguilar in the 72, Brandon Dewan starting second, Connor Scribner starting third, Brad Tritton starting fourth, Danilo Sparapani starting fifth, Nick Peterson starting sixth. We've got Joel Hancherau starting seventh, Julie Redmond starting eighth, Kevin Burrows ninth on the grid, Hunter Graves will be starting 10th. We've got Chase Small starting 11th, John Kasai starting 12th, Peter Rettinger starts 13th, Felipe Garcia 14th, Marie Fernandez starting 15th, Gareth McAllister starting 16th, Xavier Zanave starting 17th, James Prusowski starting 18th, Norman King starts 19th. Gustavo Gravina starting 20th. Nick Marshall starting 21st. And that will round out the grid here tonight as we get ready to send them off for the 45-minute maximum feature event. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as these drivers are about to put on a show, waiting for the lights here at Suzuka. And away they go. 22 laps, 45 minutes, whatever's going to come first. And already we're seeing some drivers having a bit of a blink towards the rear. Aguilar sets the pace up on the inside line. An early charge. Branduan sitting second. Connor Scribner starting third. Now, Mari Fernandez had an off track. It looked like going into one, but able to get back onto the circuit. No big problems there. So let's go back up front as Aguilar has an early lead. He's about 7/10 up over Brandon Dewan. Looks like Hancherau also with an off-track excursion trying to get it pointed in the right direction. And he will able to rejoin. Now looks like Hunter Graves has some sort of issue here tonight. Not starting, it looks like. Not sure if he had to take an early tow or what may have happened. But a very quick disconnect from the 37 machine. Hopefully he can get back out there and try and make something happen. As Aguilar quickly pulling a gap 7, let's call it 3/10 over Brandon Dewan. Let's go a little bit further back to Brad Tritton in 4th. Behind Tritton, you've got Sparapani, Peterson, Redmond, Kasai, Burrows, Small, all up inside the top 10 here. Now we had a couple of single car off-track excursions, but so far things are looking relatively clean here. But oh, look at this. Redmond, Peterson going at it. Redmond hard on the brakes in her number 76 machine. This will be the battle for 6th. Peterson extends that gap back to 6/10. As up ahead, Tritton and Sparapani have a little bit of side-by-side action in the battle for 4th. Tritton and the number 26, Sparapani in the bright purple number 9, looking to the inside. Tritton in the anime back, number 26. Looks like he's going to lose the position as around goes Redmond just behind. Looks like Kasai may have been involved in that one as well, as both drivers off track, waiting for a clean way to rejoin, but things are getting exciting. As that was Hantra on the 71 machine, licensed through traffic that was rejoining. Thankful that didn't go worse than it could have been. Hard charger on track. Gareth McAllister, the Australian, in the number 25 machine, up 7 positions. Had a pretty rough going qualifying. Started 16th, has worked his way up into 9th very early on in the feature. Now, a common theme we've been hearing from the drivers so far this season, the track temps, very, very hot, makes it fairly difficult to hold on to these Formula 3 machines over the duration of a run. As we go a little bit further back, the battle for the top 10. Peter Rettinger in the number 44, making a move on Garcia in the 19. Not quite able to make it stick so far. As we watch Garcia, the number 19 Brazilian driver, trying to hold on to that 10th place spot. Everybody out here looking to score a career best, maybe lock in some points for the team. As we start getting some fast laps, Aguilar with a 153 flat. He was about 4/10 fast. Got about 3/10 faster than Brandon Dewan that last lap. As up ahead, Peterson and Tritton still putting on a show for 5th. Peterson's going to look back to the inside line, but Tritton's going to hold on to it, getting set up for the chicane, guarding the inside. The track awareness absolutely key out here at Suzuka. Now, the more Tritton and Peterson are finding themselves battling for 5th, that may allow the likes of Kevin Burrows running 7th to close the gap in his number 80 machine. As Tritton, Peterson running nose to tail. As it looks like McAllister has some sort of problem. No, he's got bad internet, I think, blinking horrifically in the number 25 machine. The Australian internet rearing its ugly head once more. Tritton, Peterson, Burrows running very close here in the battle for 5th. You can see Sparapani ahead. He's running 4th in the number 9 machine, but it looks like Burrows starting to close the gap. Getting a little bit closer to the tail end of Tritton and Peterson. As we're going to go on board with the number 24 machine as he looks to the outside line of the number 26. Side by side they go into turn 1. Who's going to have it here? Looks like Peterson very slightly has the position. As now Kevin Burrows slowly joining the fray in the number 80. Rettinger getting closer and closer in the 44 machine as well. So great racing all across the track. And a very clean racing so far. So right now, hard charger on track is still McAllister up 8 positions. As a little bit further back, looks like Garcia, the number 19 machine, has an off-track excursion. A little bit further back, looks like here comes Hanshaw on the 71 machine. A very rough start working around King's number 28 machine. Now King's still having a fairly good night as you watch Kasai come by, but the all-black number 28 is up 3 positions so far tonight. It is all about momentum as we take a nice wide-angle shot over the 3-car battle for 7th. Peterson, Trenton, Burrows, all in the mix. Burrows has been slowly crawling up the ranking as well. He's up 2 spots in the number. He's got a very large gap over 8th place. That's McAllister, who finds himself about 3 seconds behind this 3-car battle. And this is what people love about League Zero, the Formula 3 series. Just great racing all across the circuit. Some of these drivers looking for their personal best, while Aguilar looks to be sitting well to pick up a win. 2, almost 3. Oh, something's going on up front. Brandon Dewan, who's running very far, has, I believe, a single car incident, and he drops down the standings into 6th. What happened here? Let's take a look at the anime back number 96 machine. Just sends it around. And thankfully everybody else able to check up and avoid him here. That's going to change the landscape a little bit. Now it's Aguilar, Scribner, Sparapani, your top 3. As that has interrupted the party. Oh, Kevin Burrows had an incident as well. The number 80 machine, who's running very far up front. We saw him in that 3-car battle. I wonder if it's the exact same move that happened to Brandon Dewan here. Just about. Around it goes. No heads up, no shimmy. And now Burrows will have his work cut out for him as he's trying to put the pressure on the flying Frenchman, Xavier Zanave. As this is your current closest battle out on track. Now Nick Marshall down pit road early on lap 3. Maybe had too much damage. Hunter Graves with the did not start. Had problems right off the grid. I believe, I feel pretty safe in saying he must have lost connection there. And we get a report, Hunter Graves, his VR setup had problems on the grid. He very quickly disconnected to avoid causing mayhem. And just terrible luck for Graves in the 37, who had that massive hardware failure at an extremely dangerous time. Now, I guess it's not all bad news. He could have had that disconnect in the middle of the race, maybe heading into turn one with his competition. So thankful that Graves didn't have that problem and collect some other race cars, as here comes Burrows looking up the inside line of Zanave. Zanave took a peek back at Burrows, backs out of it. Now, Zanave in that number 12 machine, he's up 7 positions and still inside the top 10, so things going well for the Frenchman here tonight. Now, we are expecting the fuel window to open up at lap 11 for our competitors here, as Burrows very slowly pulling away from Zanave. The field really starting to get stretched out here. With the way this is going, it looks like it may be an evening of single car incidents. Between hardware failures and a few self-spins. Other than that, a very clean start to the feature event here tonight at League Zero. Sponsored by Nemesis Labs. Really appreciate those guys coming on board as well. As we check back in with Raymond Aguilar, clicking off laps, making it look easy here tonight at Suzuka and that number 72 Track Limit Racing Formula 3 machine. He has gained a 5-second advantage over Connor Scribner and a 7.3-second advantage over Danilo Sparapani. Oh, what's this? McAllister off track. He's going to lose a spot to Chase Small and possibly Felipe Garcia as well, as the field looks to be stacking up here in the battle for 10th. You've got Small, McAllister, Garcia, Fernandez, Hantarau, Kasai, all within about 2 seconds between 10th and 15th here this evening. As we're waiting to see if McAllister catches back up to Small. Meanwhile, Garcia and Fernandez getting a little bit closer to the Australian driver, who's fighting to hold on to a top 11. We saw McAllister up 9 spots early on in this feature event, but has had a little bit of problems, a little bit of connection issues. Now he's only up 5 spots. So that's going to put Xavier Zanave as your hard charger so far. Oh, McAllister with problems once more, holding on to it, and carnage happens behind him. Oh, that's Chase Small who got collected in that. And Small takes a tow back to pit road. Oh no, it was an incident all by himself. Small hard into the wall. As I believe that was Mari Fernandez, also with his own incident up on the background there. So 2 drivers having issues. As both Small, Marshall, and pit road, looks like Fernandez is able to rejoin the circuit here. As now Burrows and Rettinger fighting for 7th. Burrows has been very fast here in the number 80 machine, but does he have the consistency fighting the track, fighting the traction? That's been a very common theme this evening. As we go a little bit further back to Hantarau and Garcia battling for 11th. Now a top 12 so important for these drivers with the inverted grid going into the sprint race. If you can maybe finish your career best in 12th, that's going to be good odds for the sprint, putting you in that top spot. The top 10 landscape ever changing. But let's go back up to Brad Tritt and Brandon Dwan. Nose to gearbox, the two drivers in the 26 and the 96. A lot of anime painted cars out here at Suzuka. I'd prefer not to ask why, as Brandon Dwan makes the pass on Tritt and moving that 96 machine back up towards the field into 5th. Let's go a little bit further back. This is a very important battle for 10th. Hancherau looks to make the move on McAllister. Does so cleanly in the number 71 machine. Very easy to spot the bright blue and yellow number 71. Now Hancherau still down 3 spots in the engine ice backed machine, but trying to get back up there. As McAllister tucks in behind. Little bit further ahead, it looked like Dwan was gaining some ground on Peterson in the last few laps in the battle for 4th. And we did get a report from pit road. Gustavo Gravina has been forced to retire in the 81 machine, sustaining too much damage. He's going to call it for the feature event, try and get everything repaired before the sprint race to follow. As after this feature event, we'll have a very brief intermission interviewing our top 3 drivers. And then we're going to roll straight into the sprint, which is always action-packed. Half the laps, twice the carnage. And speaking of laps, we are at the pit window as John Kasai will be the first driver for a green flag stop. Now let's see Kasai, a fairly long pit stop for a Formula 3 machine, 11.4 seconds. I'm wondering if maybe there was some damage on the number 3 machine, or I don't think he took tires here as that was entirely too short. Felipe Garcia also came in for a green flag stop. He was in and out of his pit stall in just under 6 seconds. Now, I would imagine your race leader, Raymond Aguilar, is going to extend his run as long as he possibly can. He's sitting comfortably out front, 4.6 seconds ahead of Connor Scribner. Oh, but we've got problems somewhere else on the track. Julie Redmond finds herself careening around, trying to get a better angle there. As she was off in the trees, it looks like, almost getting covered by the leaves. Redmond, now look at this. This is, I believe, the 3rd driver, the same section, where the car just snaps around, no heads up. You can see her locking it up, well done, and then very quickly hops off the raceway in case of oncoming traffic. And she does get it fired back up, and most importantly, avoids any contact or collision with either the wall or other drivers. David Zanave coming in for his green flag stop on lap 12. Peterson slowly gaining ground on Sparapani. Sparapani on your screen right now in the all-purple number 9. Lost about a half second to Peterson that last time by, so not sure if the number 9 Brazilian driver maybe had a bit of a bobble, or Peterson finding some pace late into the evening. Now behind these drivers, Brandon Dewan running over a second of a lap faster. So we may see that number 96 machine interject itself up a little bit higher into the party as well. As we pan back to Dewan, he can see the battle between Sparapani and Peterson in front of him. And that is the battle for third. So if Dewan can be a little bit patient here, see what's going to unfold in front, he may be able to pick up 2 positions the easy way. Now Sparapani came down pit road. That's going to give clean track to Dewan to try and reel in Peterson, the number 24 machine. Sparapani, Burrows, Hancherell all down pit road. Sparapani 5.6 seconds for his stop. Mari Fernandez also down pit road. As man, you can see the back end of the number 96 machine dancing around, trying to put the power down as quick as he possibly can, but the track temps very, very hot here tonight. 97 degrees Fahrenheit for our drivers as Dewan with a big moment there. Now a newer tire model here for the Formula 3 machines. I'm very curious to see if maybe some drivers take tires here tonight. It'll be an interesting call. Something we haven't really seen in races past. Juan trying to get set up on Peterson's number 24 machine. They get back into podium contention. He's got very quick pace. Will he wait? And maybe kind of waiting for the pit cycle to start here, at least for the top 3 drivers? Or is he going to press the issue? Looks like our question will be answered. Brandon throwing it in there. Getting nice and clear of Peterson. Looks like Peterson was going to try and answer. He decides, you know what, too risky. Let's dive down pit road. And Brandon, the 96 machine, moves back into third under the fuel stops here tonight. Nick Peterson, Brad Tritton down pit road together. Your top 3, Aguilar, Scribner, Dwan, still staying out here. Peter Rettinger also down pit road. McAllister opts to stay out in the number 25 machine. Just a handful of drivers here this evening who have yet to come down pit road. Your top 4 still staying out. Looks like Julie Redmond staying out as well in her 76 machine, as well as Norman King in the 28. That puts about 6 drivers who have yet to box. As I say that, King comes down pit road for his one and only planned stop of the evening. When is Aguilar going to come down pit road? Now, I think he's going to stretch that lead out as long as he possibly can. 6 seconds ahead of his closest competition, Connor Scribner. But it looks to me like Aguilar's backed off the pace as, yes, he decides to come down pit road on lap 14. for his one and only stop. Scribner's going to follow suit in the 18 running second, as well as Brandon Dewan running third. Will we see McAllister come down pit road this time by as well? I'd imagine so. I want to say that Aguilar probably ran that thing as close to empty as he possibly could. And look at this. McAllister opts to stay out for one more lap in the 25. And looks like he's starting to catch up to Scribner here. Scribner coming out with more fuel underneath him. McAllister, not sure where he's found the speed from, but he's definitely going to use it early on all over the back of the number 18 machine. But how much is this battle going to be worth for the Aussie, as he will have to undo the effort coming down pit road? But look at that, McAllister moves up to second. The young Australian driver absolutely ripping it here late in the race. How much longer will he go on fuel, though? As I believe he's the only driver, yes, that is correct, on McAllister, the only driver who has yet to come down pit road. But you gotta give the number 25 credit. He's just absolutely flying here tonight. But unfortunately, that pass for second will be undone here relatively soon. Look at the party a little bit further back in the field as well. Peterson Dewan linked up. Ahead of them is McAllister and Scribner. McAllister comes down pit road on lap 16. That's going to put Peterson up into third, Brandon Dewan fourth, Sparapani fifth, and Aguilar continues the lead here tonight at Suzuka. But look at this, Brandon Dewan trying to set up Peterson in the battle for third. Just about a second ahead of these two is Connor Scribner, who wants nothing more for Peterson and Dewan to continue duking it out to give his number 18 machine a bit of a break and maybe try and lock up a second. But I think very shortly we're going to see a three-car battle for second and third. Sparapani trying to join the fray as well. We've got 6 laps left to go. And 4 drivers all fighting for those remaining 2 podium spots as Aguilar has checked out here at Suzuka. 9 seconds ahead of Connor Scribner. Scribner about a second ahead of Peterson and Dewan, but the more you see the 3rd and 4th place drivers battle Peterson and Dewan, it'll give Scribner a chance to break away, as well as Sparapani a chance to as I realize the microphone has come unplugged. Not sure if we got the call in or not. That Brandon Juan has retired in the 96 machine. As he is saying both the driver and car unable to continue on, keep charging forward. But Raymond Aguilar, the fastest lap of the race, a 152.61, a full tenth of a second faster than anybody else has been able to go here tonight. As he has pulled 11.2 seconds ahead of Nick Peterson in second. Still have 14 drivers out on track. But Aguilar looking good. Let's see what his lap time's going to be this time as he gets ready to start lap 21 in the number 72 machine. Waiting for the live timing to update. A 153.8, so just about 1.2 seconds off his fastest lap of the race. 14 drivers still remaining, but soon Aguilar looking good to pick up a win here tonight at Suzuka. Now for a race that was kind of apprehensive for a lot of the drivers out here tonight with the setup, the track conditions, I've got to say things went relatively well. We saw a few self-spins, mostly from driver error on the asphalt. We saw Brandon Juan sitting around trying to make a pass at the inside line, and unfortunately the grass and gravel just not boding well for him. Now, Aguilar's last win was the sprint race at Brands Hatch way back on April 7th, because last week it was Josh Green picking up back-to-back wins in both the feature and the sprint. But with Green being out of town for the Indy Pro 2000 race at Barber this weekend, Aguilar looking good to bring home his fourth win of the season. Now coming into tonight, Aguilar was 12 points behind Josh Green. With Green having real-life race commitments, things could go very, very well here and really shake things up in the championship, as Aguilar, with just this race alone, can be able to score some massive points. Because historically, Aguilar's picked up most of his wins in the sprint races, not necessarily as much the feature events. The white flag is out, and Aguilar, I believe, is going to put it in cruise control here. 10.7 seconds up from Peterson as the field stretched out with the remaining 13 drivers. Now again, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. After the feature event, we're going to roll straight into our sprints after interviewing the top 3 drivers. And the sprint race, always exciting. It'll be interesting to see how the track temp changes between now and the sprint as well. If it gets much hotter, it might be even more exciting here. Aguilar heading underneath the bridge for the final time. He's got a half lap left to go. As what's this? Xavier Zanave has to come down pit road. I think Zanave had an off track on lap 21. I wonder if he sustained a little bit of damage with the number 12, but he's going to roll back out on track. Oh, and look at this battle that's about to happen on the final lap. King, if he can get just one more spot, will be starting on pole for the sprint race. Zanave going to try and keep the number 12 machine underneath him. Such an important spot, that final 12th place position. I think Zanave may have short-stopped earlier. He had to come in for fuel, I believe. Checkered flag gets ready to fly for Raymond Aguilar, picking up the win here at the feature event at Suzuka. 9.3 seconds over Nick Peterson. You can see Peterson in the background there, as Aguilar burns it down in a very irresponsible place. But let's pan back to the final battle for the transfer spot for that inverted grid. King has a half second to close to Xavier Zanave. And it looks like Zanave is starting to gain some ground on Felipe Garcia in 11th, so it's not over here yet, folks. We still have some great racing going on. Less than 2/10 of a lap left to go. Does King have anything in reserve? Is he going to send it on the Frenchman? A bit of a blip of the throttle, closing it down to a quarter of a second between himself and 12th place driver Xavier Zanave through the final section. Looks like Zanave able to get through just a little bit cleaner. And Xavier Zanave will finish 12th here tonight. And he will be starting on pole. We're going to try and get our top 3 drivers up here into the waiting room after the feature event. As we wait for Raymond Aguilar, Nick Peterson, Danilo Sparapani to get ready and join us for what is always classic podium speeches. Up first, we've got Danilo Sparapani join us tonight in the number 9 machine, finishing 3rd. Danilo, great race. We saw a little bit of excitement going on about midway through and still able to bring home a podium position here tonight.
Yeah, James. Well, like every time we talk, just around there and capitalizing on some of the faster guys' mistakes, and yeah, pretty good result.
Consistency brings it home every time for you. Now, Danilo, talking to everybody leading up to tonight's race, I think everyone was a little worried that the track temperature was going to be playing a major role in how the race went. How is it feeling from on board with you? How was the car handling, and were you pretty comfortable out there?
Fear, constant fear. Just trying to bring it home, and yeah, just catching a few slides up here and there. But yeah, well, overall pretty good.
Well, always a good time talking to you, my friend. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped you get up here into that podium position?
All my buddies from Fundão Racing Team watching us and actually in the race today, and my beautiful wife Livia.
Awesome. Danilo, a great time talking to you, and we hope to see you back up here after the sprint race.
Yeah, have a good one.
You as well, my friend. That was Danilo Sparapani finishing 3rd here tonight, getting some love from the fans as well. Up next, Nick Peterson, the number 24 machine. Nick, we saw some close battles all throughout the race, and looks like Branduan almost made it even more exciting for the pair of you.
Yeah, it was a good close race. I messed up the exit, and he kind of just took the curb, and it didn't work out for him.
Now, Peterson, what's it like to be out there with guys that you trust so much, running nose to tail or side by side for a good 5-6 laps? I mean, you guys are putting on a show for majority of the feature event here tonight.
Definitely gives me confidence. I don't have to worry about the guys behind me crashing into me. So I can focus on my race, and they can focus on theirs. So.
Well said, Nick. Now, what's the plan going into the final sprint race of the evening? You're going to be starting way towards the middle of the pack, and as we all know, that can get a little bit exciting there, I think.
I'm just going to try and keep it clean. The first 2 laps are kind of brutal here, so I have a feeling people are going to go off if they're too aggressive.
Well, awesome, Nick. We hope to have you back up here soon. A great job and a hard-fought second. And who do you want to give a shout-out to here tonight that helped you get up here in victory lane?
I'll give a shout out to my fiance Laura and John for coming back this week and cheering me on.
Awesome, Nick. Good time talking to you, my friend. Hope to see you do well in the sprint. And as always, thank you for your time. Thanks, Jam. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
That was Nick Peterson making your broadcaster blush. But up next, the man of the hour, Raymond Aguilar. Been a couple weeks since we saw you, and I know feature events haven't always been good to you, but I believe, if I'm looking at the results correctly, this is your first feature win of the season.
I think so. I think that's right. I reflected on this last night. I thought, I heard that Josh Green wasn't coming tonight, and I thought maybe I can just put my foot down and get ahead, get some points while he's out of here.
Yeah, it seems to be going well for you. I believe with how the points breaks down after that feature run, I believe you will be the new point standing leader here. They're passing the 12-point advantage Green had coming into tonight. Now, what's the plan in the sprint race? You've got the points leader. Are we gonna see that number 72 machine play it safe, or try and double down and see if we can score some more points while Green's out of town?
I can tell you right now that the Little Debbie hand-cooked tire number 72 machine does not ever go slow, right? So it's gonna try. I'm just along for the ride. We're gonna try to get through the pack. I don't know how. I was thinking about this. This is one of those tracks that spreads everybody out. So not sure how we're gonna do it, but I'm gonna try to get up on the lead.
Now, with the race, you think gonna get everybody spread out relatively shortly? Is that gonna change your strategy compared to a race where the group's pretty packed tight? Do you think you have more time to make passes with the field spread out, or less?
I think I got less. I think I'll be starting I think in 12th, so I'm going to need to get at least 3 spots in the first turn and then hopefully a couple more in the first. If I can end up 6 by the end of the first lap, I might have a shot at getting to the front, especially with some of these guys coming out like Nick Peterson. He's getting so fast. Brandon's here. I mean, all these guys are so quick. I can't let them get away from me.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are as well. And Raymond, before I let you get ready for this sprint race, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you get that top spot here tonight?
I want to shout out to Little Debbie, my team Track Limit Racing, my coach Josh Green, and Team Goon Squad for setting that stuff up.
Awesome. Raymond, thank you as always, my friend. Hope to see you do well in the sprint race, and congratulations on your first feature win so far this year.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, sir. That was Raymond Aguilar bringing it home in the top spot. Don't go anywhere. We've got less than 4 minutes to go before our final sprint race of the evening. Welcome back, race fans. We're getting ready to go for the final bit of action for the evening. The long-awaited, much exciting sprint race here at League Zero, sponsored by Nemesis Labs. Going to be another great race amongst these guys. Half the laps, twice the action, and an inverted top 12 grid. Let's get ready to see how they line up, and already it's going to be exciting. Xavier Zanave starting the top spot. Felipe Garcia starting second. We got Mari Fernandez starting third. John Kasai fourth. Peter Rettinger will be starting fifth. Gareth McAllister starting sixth. Joel Hanterell starting seventh. Kevin Burrows starting eighth. Brad Tritton starting ninth. Danilo Sparpani starting 10th. Nick Peterson 11th. Raymond Aguilar, your feature race winner, starting 12th. Cycling it back, Norman King starting 13th. Julie Redmond starting 14th. James Pruzakowski starting 15th. Connor Scribner 16th. Brandon Dewan starting 17th. Gustavo Gravina starting 18th. Chase Small starting 19th. Nick Marshall starting 20th. Hunter Graves will be 21st. Now we have a couple drivers I don't believe will be coming back out on track. Hantrell showing as disconnected. We got a report Brandon Dewan. Hunter Graves will be out as well. And let's get ready. You heard from Raymond Aguilar. He wants to be in 6th place by the end of the opening lap as Garcia takes over the spot from Zanave heading into turn 1. As this is about to go bad, I think. Look how stacked up the field is. James Pruzakowski involved in an incident a little bit further back. And it is an absolute meat grinder here tonight. Barapani trying to make moves, and just like that, we hear some drivers going around. That was Aguilar in the 72 machine. Kevin Burrows is taking a tow back to pit road. Aguilar, who wanted to be in 6th at the end of the opening lap, is going to have his work cut out for him. Will he have enough left in the car to gain some ground? As he is way down the standings. Back up front is Sean Kasai, Gareth McAllister, Felipe Garcia, your current top 3. Right behind Garcia is where all the action is. There's Xavier Zanave, Mari Fernandez, Peter Rettinger, Brad Tritton. All nice and tight here. Giving McAllister a chance of a bit of a breakaway. Oh, and look at that, Zanave. A big moment, had to chase it up the track. Garcia also has problems as the field stacks up as we go 2 wide, 2 deep. Garcia, Zanave, Fernandez, Rettinger, all in a pack. Brad Tritton, the number 26 machine, looking for some sort of opening, but as we hint at 3 wide action, he is not going to find it. Now, one single incident here will take out a whole lot of drivers. And look at this massive pack behind Zanave. The more they battle, the more of a breakaway. It's given John Kasai, Gareth McAllister up front. Now Kasai, McAllister, Zanave, all looking for their top win as Zanave sends it in way too deep. And around he goes. Beautiful rejoin to his credit. That's going to put Mari Fernandez up into 3rd. All the while, Kasai and McAllister are putting their head down, hoping the carnage keeps up behind him. Aguilar, who had that early crash, he's still sitting 14th. As now Tritton going to put in work behind Fernandez. Tritton already up 5 spots in the number 26. As you can see, Felipe Garcia in 5th. He's got Rettinger and Sparapani right behind him. Looks like Rettinger going to make the move, and no, here we go. Who is that? That's Felipe Garcia up and over. Let's see what happened to the number 30 machine. Excuse me, the number 19 machine of Felipe Garcia. Rettinger throws it in deep, too deep. A little bit of contact. The number 9 of Sparapani comes in. And then Garcia just gets launched to orbit. Back to the battle for third. Brad Trenton trying to make a pass on Mari Fernandez. Oh, Fernandez way off the circuit. Doesn't lift. Sends it back to the inside line of Trenton. Both drivers need to be careful side by side through the chicane. Looks like Trenton's gonna get clear. How did Fernandez not get a slowdown as they're still side by side down the start finish line straight? Kasai with a 153.87. Both him and McAllister over 4 seconds ahead of this wild battle for third. Trenton tries the outside line. Fernandez says, no, neither one of us are getting through this one. And look at this once more. We grab our Nemesis Labs instant replay. Trenton on the outside line, contact with Fernandez, around they go. Fernandez done and out. I think Trenton, he's also out. Dropping like flies here at Suzuka. John Kasai out front with a 2.8 second gap over McAllister. McAllister in second has a 5-second advantage over Redinger, while Redinger getting chased by Danilo Sparapani, Connor Scribner, Xavier Zanave. Ooh, the top three could be a bunch of new faces here. I can tell you what, I think we're looking good for a first-time winner here at League Zero. If Kasai, McAllister, or Redinger pick up a win, I will absolutely lose my mind. Really, anybody inside the top 5 has yet to pick up a win so far this season. Oh, that's not good. Small and Peterson tied up. The hits just keep coming, quite literally. Around goes Peterson after a little bit of contact with Small. Both drivers off in the kitty litter, as they say. Now Redinger in third knows the Brazilian driver Danilo Sparapani in hot pursuit. Scribner also on the gearbox of the number 9 machine. I think I'm fairly safe and sane here, ladies and gentlemen. Every driver in the top 8, 8, has yet to pick up a win so far this season. So it's going to be an absolutely wild one. Laura Kasai join us tonight saying, let's go, John. Full beans goes the Texan out front, 3.5 seconds up over Gareth McAllister. The fans coming to life here tonight, Suzuka, looking for a first-time winners. We're currently focused on the battle for third, or what's going to be the battle for third. Redinger, Sparapani, Scribner, Zanave, and a nice and tidy pack. As we have very quickly whittled it down to 13 drivers on track. We had 21 registered for the feature, only 17 started for the sprint. As Sparapani and Scribner gaining even more ground over Redinger in the all-black number 44 machine. Is Sparapani going to hop out of the draft here and try to make something happen? No, he thinks better of it, tucking him behind Redinger for a little while longer, but the gap is rapidly closed. Here comes Sparapani up the inside line. Redinger hard on the brakes. May have been driving in his rearview mirror there. As now Xavier Zanave in 6th has closed the gap as well. Aguilar, who we talked about early, your feature event winner, involved in a little bit of shenanigans, has worked his way up into 9th as now Sparapani looks to the inside line of Redinger. Redinger all sorts of loose there. Is that going to allow Connor Scribner an opportunity? It looks like no so far, as Sparapani has worked his way up into 3rd, but Sparapani 5 seconds back from Gareth McAllister running 2nd. 6 laps left to go here at Suzuka. And what a wild one it has been, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Sparapani able to stretch his legs over Rettinger. 7/10 second advantage so far. As now Connor Scribner looks to the inside line of Rettinger. He's going to move up to 4th. Rettinger falling back to 5th. And now he will have to battle with Zanave. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what Sparapani can do with clean track ahead of him, the number 9 machine. He's 4.6 seconds back from Gareth McAllister. McAllister looking for his very first podium of the season. I believe that would be his first podium in his career here at League Zero. But Sparapani has been very consistent all throughout the season. Kasai a 1:53.89. McAllister a 1:54.36, but keep an eye on Sparapani. Sets the fastest lap of the night, a 1:53.45. Almost a full second faster than McAllister with 5 laps left to go. If things stay the same, you may see Sparapani catch up to the Australian running second. Connor Scribner doing a fairly good job here staying with Sparapani as both drivers have made their way around Rettinger, who still sits squarely in 5th, getting harassed by Xavier Zanave in the number 12 machine. But with this clean track, let's see who the hot lap heroes are this evening. Oh, Xavier Zanave has a solo incident, I believe a solo incident. Let's see if the banking at Suzuka strikes again for the number 12 machine. Just went a little bit too wide, locks up the brakes, careens it around, but hey, ooh, well done to traffic. I think that was Norman King sliding his way through. Back up front, John Kasai, 4.8 seconds up over McAllister. McAllister 4 seconds ahead of Sparapani. Let's see what the lap times are this time by Kasai with a 1:53.76. Let's see what McAllister does in the background on the start-finish line. A 1:54.02. Sparapani with a 1:53.4. And look at this now, Connor Scribner with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:53.18. Now this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out. 4 laps left to go. I think Sparapani may have the pace to catch up to McAllister. It's going to be close in a game of consistency, but if Scribner starts putting the screws to Sparapani, it could slow down the pace and allow McAllister to hold on to a second. This is a night of consistency, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Sparapani, a little bit of sliding action there as he gets halfway through the lap, keeping Scribner about 1 second behind him. Scribner was about, let's call it about 3/10 faster than Sparapani their last time by. As we see these two drivers, Sparapani about 3 seconds back from McAllister. Scribner just about 4 seconds back. What a wild race so far. It's Kasai, McAllister, Sparapani, Scribner, Rettinger, your top 5. Looks like Scribner gains a little bit of time through the final chicane. Both drivers very evenly matched on pace, and they are slowly reeling in McAllister as they run about 1.1 second a lap faster than your second place driver. Kasai, no slouch of his own up front. He just clicked off a 153.9, so he's a little bit off his fastest lap so far of the race, but here we go. We may have a battle for third, or we may see two drivers work together to try and reel in McAllister, then duke it out on the final laps. 3 laps left to go here tonight. Again, this is the battle for the final podium spot on screen. Sparapani and Scribner have been very evenly matched on pace, but if they start battling too intently at all, they're going to throw away at a chance to catch up to McAllister. McAllister 2.7 seconds ahead of this third place battle. Oh, bated breath for all parties involved here tonight. Scribner right on the back of Sparapani. Are we going to see this battle unfold? As it looks like Scribner took a peek to the inside line, the final chicane. Now let's keep an eye on the lap times here. Are they slowing down the pace? McAllister had a 154 flat, his fastest lap of the race. Sparapani and Scribner just about evenly matched, but here we go. Side-by-side action. Sparapani the inside line. Scribner trying to take the long way around. Sparapani holds on to it. McAllister has to be ecstatic as these two continue duking it out, but Scribner takes over the third place spot. Will Sparapani be able to answer? 2 laps left to go. Kasai comfortably out front, 5 seconds ahead of the third place drivers. Scribner 3.3 seconds back from McAllister. They've lost just about a second here in this battle. The fans all on the edge of their seat. If Kasai picks up his first win of the season, we are all going to absolutely lose it here tonight. Scribner has pulled a 3/4 of a second gap over Sparapani. But if there is one thing that is for certain, Sparapani has the consistency. Will we see any bobbles from Scribner as he's closing the gap to McAllister? 2.9 seconds. He's gained about 4/10 so far. But not a lot of laps left to go. You can see the all-white number 25 heading into the final chicane ahead of Scribner's baby blue and black number 18 machine. Now Scribner has had 1 win so far of this season. And he's been very consistent on the podium. He's got 11 top 5s so far this season, so he's definitely got the pace, but now does he have the time to try and pick up a second? As we are rapidly running out of time for our drivers to make any big moves. Kasai has to be feeling great right now, just needs to run some consistent laps, and he will be looking good here. I'm trying to see, I don't know if Kasai has actually raced so far this season. Yes, he has, and I'm just not good at counting. John Kasai's been out here a bunch, but He's only got 3 top 5s. And he's gotten close to the podium way back at Red Bull Ring. He picked up a 4th. After that, the podium has been further and further from eluding him. But you know what's better than a podium, ladies and gentlemen? Is your very first win here at League Zero. The white flag is out for John Kasai. He's 4.5 seconds up over Gareth McAllister. McAllister 2 seconds ahead of Connor Scribner. He's also looking for his first podium. A Scribner who is 8th in points, just trying to salvage some points at this stage of the season. Now he's running a much faster pace than McAllister, but McAllister has a 1.8 second advantage over the number 18 machine. As you can see, the back end dancing out of the number 18 machine. The tires getting a whole lot of heat, getting a little bit greasy here at Suzuka, and making it continuously tougher to keep the power down. Half a lap left to go for your top 3. Kasai, McAllister, Scribner. Focusing on the Australian driver, Gareth McAllister. Now I was looking to see, unfortunately, McAllister not streaming his perspective tonight. 1.3 seconds. 1/10 of a lap left to go. McAllister has to hang on to it. And unless he has a bobble in the final chicane, he's looking good. Speaking of final chicane, there's John Kasai in the number 3 machine. John Kasai picking up his very first win here at League Zero. The Texas native gets it done just behind. There's Gareth McAllister picking up his very first podium. And Connor Scribner scores for a 3rd. It is time for some celebrations. John Kasai is going to burn it down. His first time win. And you are about to hear some yeehaws, ladies and gentlemen. John Kasai absolutely on top of the world right now. What a great run from these guys. We're going to try and get these drivers up here into victory lane. I think they're going to be too busy with the fist pumps and high fives all the way around. Absolute great race. Man, oh man, that's the excitement we love here at League Zero. As we've got McAllister, we've got Kasai, and now we're waiting on Scribner to get up here into the interview room. All right, up first, we've got Connor Scribner bringing home a 3rd place finish in the number 18 machine, up 13 spots. Connor, great run, and you've got to be happy, all things considered, to run that race relatively clean, score some major points, and put it up inside the top 3.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I can't help but be disappointed to come so close in the feature, but it's good to have the sprint to be able to make up for things. I was a little worried starting at the back, but turned out all right, so can't complain about that.
Now, Connor, you were one of the few racers remaining at that point, especially inside the top 10, who had a win so far this season. Were you worried at all if you caught those guys up front that they're going to be a little bit more wild trying to bring home their first wins?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly I hadn't considered it. It's so difficult to pass here, that I was just really focused on getting in front there at the end. And so I really wasn't considering what was going to happen past that because really that took everything I had.
Well, still, Connor, great run tonight. Always a great time talking to you. And I know disappointed with third, but a serious great result here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you gain 13 spots and get back up here into third?
Oh, it's got to be my wife. She was right there with me. She was cheering me on, and there's nothing that gets you going more than that. So that's
Well, awesome, Connor. Congratulations, my friend. Always a great time talking to you, and well done out there tonight.
yeah. Have a nice night.
You as well, my friend. That was Connor Scribner bringing home a third. And ladies and gentlemen, no stranger to the broadcast booth, but hey, a first-time podium for Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian.
Hey James, how's it going?
Gareth, welcome, my friend. It's been too long, and what a fantastic run tonight out of that number 25.
Yeah, I can't say enough how amazed I am. I'm still buzzing, like it's just incredible. I never thought I'd ever get a top 3. I always struggled to get a top 5, so coming second is just insane to me.
Yeah, a great run. Seemed like things went your well. You had great, very consistent pace, and some of the drivers behind you had some worrisome issues. But what was the trick, and how are you keeping yourself calm in those final laps, knowing that Scribner was very slowly closing that gap to you?
Yeah, well, God, I'm still almost lost for words, but I think the main thing was I don't know exactly what happened, but the checkup in turn 2 or turn 1 at the start of the sprint race was just I don't know. I guess I was just in the right place, at the right time. I followed Kasai through, and I knew I didn't really have anything for him because he's usually quite a bit faster than myself. So I kind of just tried to stay calm. And when I saw Connor behind me, I decided to start pushing a little bit more. And there were a couple moments which were a little bit sketchy, but managed to hold on to it. Thankfully.
Well, Gareth, it's a great time talking to you. Very pumped, very proud to see you up here inside the top 3 and a second at that. And I guess for the first time, my friend, in your career here at League Zero, who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped make it happen.
I was thinking about that, and um, I don't have a specific. I don't want to give shout out to specific people because I have such an amazing group of friends and family around me, and thanks to everyone who lets me do it. And it's just absolutely amazing. Like I got to thank Team Green Squad and yourself for broadcasting, putting on a show. I've got to thank League Zero and everyone in here. I'm a solo driver by the fact that I'm in no team, but it honestly feels like I'm part of a giant team in this league. So thanks to everyone for that, and all my friends and family. I'm sure there's quite a lot of people watching back home. So yeah, I can't be happier, man.
Gareth, pumped for you, my friend. Great job, and hope to see you build off this momentum here this evening.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it. I'll attempt to.
Thank you, my friend. That was Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, bringing home a second. But up next, the man, the myth, the propane legend, John Kasai with his first win. John, welcome, my friend.
Oh, it feels good to be in the winner's circle, James. It feels good to be in the winner's circle.
Now, John, would you ever expect that a sprint race where there is so much carnage able to avoid and keep it up front? And I'm fairly certain start to finish for the most part, you held on to it and just kept clicking off laps out there.
Yeah, the carnage was expected, but I did not expect to end up in front. Usually I'm the one in the dirt, so that was a pleasant surprise, man. I'm exhausted. That was a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of wheeling, a lot of holding on to it. Now, did you have any big moments out of number 3 machine? As it seemed kind of like everybody was having a tough go at trying to put the traction down here this evening.
Yeah, in warm-ups we were all commenting on how the grip was better than we remember, but man, those tires fell off quicker after this update. I don't really know what they changed, but it was definitely different. The feature was a lot of work. spun and battling back to 9th place just for a shot in the sprint. And yeah, that was a lucky break for me in the front. I had a lot of close moments. I slowed down a second a lap near the end of that race just to not bin it.
Now, John, talking about the new tires on these Formula 3 machines, as well as the very consistent hot track temperatures we've seen, do you think we may see tire strategy come into play later in the season? Do you think anybody's going to risk it at that point, or is the safe move still just taking fuel and trying to hold on to it?
You know, my teammate Nick and I, and shout out to Nick, he did a great job tonight in the feature. We we talked about taking tires in the feature. I ended up at the end of the sprint with I used 35% of my rears on in the sprint. And Gareth was I was running away from Gareth. I was really trying as hard as I could to keep that gap, so I was overdriving a bit, but that's surprising. So maybe it will affect it in the future, especially on like tracks like Interlagos with a lot of off camber corners.
Well, hey, John, we're all absolutely pumped for you here at the whole League Zero family, and a great job picking up the win. First one this season. You got a lot of momentum to build off, but now, my friend, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout-out to this evening?
James, first, I want to shout out you, man. You do such a great job, and Team Goon Squad has just been great to us. I want to shout out Nemesis for their support. That's just awesome. League Zero, of course, and all of the admins. My wife and son for watching, and also my mom and dad down in Port Aransas, Texas. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Awesome, John. Great job tonight. We're pumped for you. Hope to see that momentum continue, and always a great time talking to my friend. Congratulations on the first-time win.
Hey, thanks, James. Have a good night, man.
You as well, my friend. That was John Kasai picking up his first win here at League Zero. A great, great run. But now one quick bonus thing before we go. We've been told that there's a little bit of shenanigans that happened late in the race. We're going to go on board with Norman King here in a lap 3 crash. Before we saw apparently Peterson and Small have a big moment ahead. I wanted to catch this before we went off air. King, oh Lord, threads the needle, a little bit of net code, and able to bring it through nice and clean. But what a great race here tonight. A first-time winner with John Kasai. Gareth McAllister, his first time on the podium, and Connor Scribner bringing it home in third. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Always a great time having our League Zero family out on a Thursday night, and I look forward to having you back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.